I'm gonna give you 40 days to get
So
back.
that song, sung by Cliff Richard and the Shadows, was my anthem. Back in 1976, I was conscripted into the South African military, compulsory military service. And when it was 40 days to go before we cleared out, we played this song and had a party, and then played it every day as we counted down the 40 days until we were discharged. It wasn't until much later that I discovered that the concept of 40 days wasn't invented by Cliff Richard or by Chuck Berry, who actually wrote the original song in 1955. The idea of a 40-day season is all over the Bible. Let me give you some examples. It rained 40 days and 40 nights when Noah and his family were shut up in the ark. Moses, Elijah, and Jesus each fasted for 40 days in the desert. David, as a young man, listened to Goliath taunt Israel for 40 days before he took him on and defeated him. Jonah warned Nineveh that God would bring down that great city in 40 days. And Jesus appeared to his disciples for 40 days after Easter that took him through to Pentecost. My name is Pastor Pete, and I'm inviting you to reflect on the spiritual significance of 40 days of fasting. 40 days is a thoroughly biblical number. The Bible tells how godly people fasted and prayed for 40 days. But that's it. A 40-day fast is not a special number that somehow forces God's hand. Fasting for 40 days somehow changes God's mind, because God can act with or without human effort. These 40 days of preparation, 40 days of fasting, is more about us, about our need to pause and pray and reflect, than about God. When we seek a deeper spiritual connection with God, 40 days can be a gift that allows us time for reflection and for preparation. Christians have just begun a 40-day time of preparation known as Lent. This is a season which connects us with the spiritual preparation of our biblical ancestors and reminds us to prepare for the deeper spiritual significance of Easter. So during Lent, people mostly give up eating something. And please note, you can't give up eating broccoli. You need to abstain from something you like, something that enriches your regular day. When you reach for it, the act of choosing then not to have it acts like a spiritual alarm clock, reminding you to pause and pray. This year, the Pope Leo, offered an alternative kind of fast. He invited people to abstain from words of hatred and to make space instead for words of hope and peace. I like the positive action required of us, but just note that words of loving kindness should always be our practice, not just for Lent. And so we are counting down 40 days to Easter. I wish you well over this Lenten period. And I am inviting you to pray a prayer. I live in Africa. I'm inviting a prayer for Africa written by Father Trevor Huddleston back in 1955. It goes like this. God bless Africa, guard her people, guide her leaders, and give her peace. Amen.